Hello, welcome back to Fatality Fitness. I'm your Shifu and today in the Kung Fu Basics we will be covering kicks. Yay, one of my favorite parts. Kicks are probably some of the most alluring pieces of Kung Fu, I would say, because when we were all into Kung Fu movies, I know I was born in the 90s and they were coming around in the 70s, but I did my time and I watched a lot, and it's the kicks that you feel like, wow, that's something totally different, especially to a Western audience, I think. So I have made it a point of pride to become one of the best kickers I know, because I love the possibilities of kicks. So for instance, when you kick, you are giving yourself more possibilities. You're giving yourself the possibility of reach much further away than your strikes. You're giving the possibility of power. I mean, the quadricep such is the biggest muscle in your body, other than possibly the glute, both of which you call upon massively for kicks. So for instance, the turning kick, when you're coming round, I'm tensing my glute as I'm throwing it. I'm utilizing my entire leg, all of the muscles in my leg, to throw it with precision and power. And obviously surprise. Sometimes with some kicks you might have the possibility of luring in with a kick here. So if I lift my knee, they think I might be getting a front kick to the body, but then if I lift my knee and flick around like the question mark kick, my specialty is here, then the power surprise with the element of surprise, with the proponent of power is like knockout level. It is it's pretty cool to be able to actually use kicks properly and decisively. Because the downside to kick or not to kick is that when you're kicking, you're more off balance, and that's something you have to think about. Is that when you throw any punch, you're not really that far off balance. Whereas if you're throwing a big turning kick here, I'm super off balance. Also, they are easier to catch. A punch might be easier to block, let's say. If you threw the left hook and you guarded it, it's not so hard to just do this. But with the kick, there's the possibility of not just like defending them, but catching them. So for instance, I realized that shooting these YouTube videos and teaching Kung Fu is a lot different than doing it with an audience and with a real class, because you have to keep extrapolating the possibilities, and to show you is difficult, but I'll try, okay? So someone's throwing a right turning kick to my body, opposite me. The catch is I can step to the side, and as I step to the side, I loop their leg inside mine. I take away or dampen their power by moving to the side, and then I lock it in. You'll see that in Muay Thai a lot. Muay Thai is all about catching kicks. But within Kung Fu, we can do the same. But often, what we do after the catching, the kick in Kung Fu, so say I caught a turning kick here, where in Muay Thai, I might go for the sweep, or step through sweep, or I hold the leg, and I got them off balance, throw an overhand right. In Kung Fu, I might snap the knee as such, or strike the quadricep and just really disable that leg. I could pull it back, stretch her out to straighten the leg fully. There's a lot of differences in the whys of why we might catch a leg, but as I said, you've got big pros and big cons for the kicking. Being caught off balance in a fight is going to mean you are on the ground. If you're fighting anyone who knows what they're doing. So there's a risk reward here for kicks. But it's only through practicing them and practicing them and practicing them that you can develop the confidence to throw them in a real fight. And for instance, in my street fighting history, because I'm from South Wales, Swansea, very rough. I had to learn to defend myself. I did have to defend myself on multiple occasions as a boy, as a teen, as a man. And I've never really had to throw a kick in my street fighting life. In having to defend myself, usually my hands are enough. It's just the shots that you've practiced, a bam, reaction, are knockouts. But that isn't to say that I wouldn't feel comfortable throwing a kick in a fight, especially on the situation, which is a whole other aspect of Kung Fu, which we can cover later on, situational awareness. But kicks, knowing how to use them, feeling confident and comfortable in using them, from the mechanics to the actual feeling of what it's like to hit someone, I would say they could offer you a bit more protection than getting in super close and starting to fight with someone who might actually be a wrestler and and be able to get right underneath you. Whereas kicks, you're naturally going to be at a further away distance to be able to strike through and hit them further away if you have the confidence to do so. So let's get into some of the drills. Let's start with a front kick, okay? I call it a front kick, I always will. Muay Thai fans are going to call it a teep kick. There are slight differences, but the same principle. It's a pushing strike. So, if I'm in my fighting stance, so let's say left leg forward, right leg back, at an angle between them, perpendicular. My hands are up, my right hand's covering, my left hand is motioning. So my left hand is free to do more, my right hand is free to cover and throw the big shots. So, fighting stance, let's say. In Kung Fu, this is my Kung Fu stance, my boxing stance, and my kickboxing stance. Okay, so 4 different martial arts. You are going to have different stance. This is Kung Fu, so I want a looser motion. The looser motion allows you to throw kicks quicker, allows you to throw them with more momentum, actually. So we're going to be in a Kung Fu stance, or standing still rather than getting up there. Loosely on. We'll stand still. Wider base, run about your shoulder width apart, sorry. Your hands are loose but taut, let's say. So they have a lot of possibilities to throw what they need to or block what they need to. So, the front kick off the front leg, you are going to have to sit into your back leg weight, okay? So you sit into your back leg weight, the knee comes up as high as it can go, you're pointing your toes back towards you, so you'd be hitting with the ball of the foot as such. So off the front leg, that's a front kick, okay? You trust your back leg, you keep your weight there, you bring it up, your core is activated. Let me just say this, for every kick you should be feeling your core. It's not just a swinging around, it's a twisting or rotating or pushing. That needs to come from your core, from your chi center, and from everything you build around yourself to have a strong center. This is the most important thing in terms of strength to me. Forget the gym, forget weightlifting. To be strong internally and externally, and to be able to have a base by which you can be flexible and strong and resilient is the core, okay? And the core is so important for throwing kicks. So activated core here, and then I'm going to drop my shoulders back as I push out, okay? So just practice that. Front kick, front leg. It's going to feel very alien, probably quite difficult even, but that's why we're here. We're here to practice the difficult to make it easy, okay? So you drop your weight with your back leg, your knee comes up at the same time. So there's one, and then you can use your momentum to push your shoulders and your upper body back as you push your hips and your leg forward. Okay, and this can just be dug right into the belly button. That's all we're practicing. You trust the back foot, and this is another reason why we practice stances, is to build each part of the leg strong. So it's strong here, it's strong here, it's strong here. Okay? Okay. 10 more front kicks. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. So, front kick now off the back leg, much easier, do not worry. It is more awkward off the front leg, you generate a lot less power off the front leg, and it's probably the riskiest for getting caught. Even though it can be fast, it can be slightly awkward to throw against an opponent who's kicking also and has a lot of practice kicks in their arsenal. The back leg, you label it a bit more, but you just can't stop it once it gets going, okay? So, last time we went back onto the back leg, trusting that. We're going to trust the front leg now. So we're going to come forward and step on that front leg. So that's the first motion of practice. Here, here. So bring that knee as high up as you can and hold. Hold. And now, so there's your first motion. 1, 2. The third is an all together, and we're going to push the hips out, the shoulders back, and you can even use the hands as like an invisible grip. As you would, let's say, if I was pretending to knee someone, I'd get my hands behind the head in the clinch to strike. We can use that same motion with the front kick off the back leg. So this is a really beautiful kick for showing how off balance you can look and actually how balanced you can be because of the motion and because of the technique. And this is the one you can really drive it through the middle. So with me, let's get practicing. Switch your weight to your front leg, bring your back leg up, and then you push it out and you return it, okay? Remember, returning it or chambering again is part of the kick. The kick isn't just the striking part, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. If you did 15 in a row then, you probably feel tightening in your hips. I still feel it, and I've been doing this for a long time. So doing kicks is going to open up different avenues of like aches, twinges, little feelings of pressure. Rightly so. To utilize our full body, we have to wake it all up. And I am very big ambassador of functional fitness, and that stems from Kung Fu. I like primal movement, I like climbing trees, I like doing kind of anything really, just attacking something with the notion that my body can do it. You know, whether it's like running on jagged rocks or running up snow paths that don't hold much purchase for your feet. I think it all adds to it. And Kung Fu is that. You want to strengthen everything so that you can do anything, okay? So those are the front kicks. Really good for stopping an incoming opponent. Bam, right to the gut as they're coming in. Or if I have an opponent backed up here, so I block, I strike, I hit them off, bam, I go through them with the front kick. They're probably on the ground, okay? Now, we're going to practice side kick. This can feel awkward, but it's a very sneaky kick if you can get the technique down, which we will. Okay, so side kick. Back to normal fighting stance, as we discussed. With the side kick, you are going to bring the leg in to chamber, as if you're guarding yourself in a way, you're guarding your lower body. You stop, this is blocking off, so you chamber, and then you push out to the side, okay? So it's even harder to do slower. So let me show you. Slow, chamber, push out, return, side kick, fast. And this is another one for the body. If you have an opponent with a similar side stance, this can give them, get right under the ribs when the side body, and it's perfect for stamping out any oncoming rushing or blitzing attack, okay? So for you, trust in the back leg again. You have to trust your own body. Stop questioning it. Stop asking if I can do it. Just trust it. Onto the back leg, standing up. Now I drop my shoulders. As I drop my shoulders, my hips get higher. And that's part of learning how to kick in Kung Fu, is that what your upper body does actually allows your lower body to do more. So here, if I just went like this, that's not a side kick, 'cause I'm not moving my shoulders. You see how that motion, one way, allows the motion the opposite side. So front leg side kick. Practice. So remember bringing the knee into you, chambering it into your body. It's not just knee up, okay? It's knee in. Okay, good. So that was side kick off the front leg, leg strike, side kick off the back leg. Same with the front kick. I would say the front leg is actually the more difficult leg to throw with, even though it's more accessible, it's closer to your opponent. That might be part of the reason why. Another is the balance and the momentum. You have less momentum to throw something off the front. You have a lot more momentum to throw something off the back, okay? So for this side kick, we're gonna open, throw the kick, and come all the way back. So we're twisting stances to return, okay? So first of all, that front leg, that front foot, twists outward. If you're at, let's say midnight, facing straight away, we're gonna go to about 10:30. Okay? Then you step in as you raise your knee. As you step in, trust this leg. Up. Okay? My hands are high and ready, and also help me balance right now. So once the knee is up, I'm gonna be striking with the bottom of the foot, remember? So I drop the shoulders back, push out, and come back in, okay? But I'm not gonna drop it just there. I'm gonna head the turn and return to fighting stance. So, front leg turns. You chamber the right knee, but this time it comes up into you as you turn another foot and trust it. So that, let's say, the turn of the foot is the first motion. The second motion is all together. Putting your weight on your front foot, turning to the side with your back leg chambered ready for the kick. And then the third is the kick, which again, if you can see, my side body is tight here when I'm holding up my leg. It opens and it tightens, okay? So let's give it a go. If you're not totally down on each part of it, you can help figure that out, okay? So let's throw some back leg side kicks. So first, twist your front foot. Second, chamber the kick up, leaning back, trusting the left leg. Third, pushing the kick out as you drop the shoulders back and open up your side body. And yeah, it's the balancing act here is just counterbalance. My head counterbalances my foot there, okay? So let's give it a go. Side kick, back leg. Remember, once you push it out, chamber it back and allow that motion to be fluid to return to fighting stance. I'm exaggerating this kick a little bit, so you can see the dynamics of it, okay? And this can be a surprising kick too. More often than not, especially from, again, more modern martial artists, they'll think this motion is going to be a right high kick. They'll think it's the turning kick, okay? If you do this motion. With Kung Fu, subterfuge is part of our skill set. So being able to make the opponent think that this might be the high kick, when in fact it's a body side kick, is going to open up what might be a lower guard, which they could protect their head, they could jump up, and you've got the opening. So, strong, straight, and true. Through the side. Good, good. Good on the side kicks. So as you can see, front kick and side kick, they can offer many different applications, many different, depending whether you're going from the body to the head actually. And something within Kung Fu, within freestyle Kung Fu, which is what I studied and fought in, we weren't allowed to hit below the belt. And therefore I think that's one of the reasons my kicks are very high and I'm very flexible. It's because that wasn't even an option. And it felt to me, if you were to kick someone beneath the belt, it kind of feels a little cheap, I would say. Sure, we learned sweeps, back sweeps too, but it wasn't about striking, even though you can, and especially in Kung Fu, you know, you can hit inside of the knee, but for these kicks, their traditional, I would say, application is to be thought of above the waist, okay? So, we've had front kick, we have the side kick, now we're gonna have the turning kick. Off the front leg, let's go this side. Off the front leg, you don't have much momentum to just go like this, okay? That's doing nothing, that's a burlesque kick. So, we have to twist that back foot, open up the hip as we twist the back foot, because this snapping motion with the hips is what's going to cause, excuse me, full of gas. So it's going to cause this turning kick to actually have some power behind it, okay? So if I didn't twist my hips and I just had a side foot, not good. That twisting foot allows me the opening of the hips to allow the power and a lot more balance, okay? If you're going to keep a foot that doesn't move, that's not balance. And even when I kick now, I can feel it in my hip that it feels tight, and it shouldn't, okay? So open that hip to close this hip with the kick. And again, these can go nice to the body, nice to the head. So let's practice front leg, turning kick. So shift your weight to the back leg, you bring the knee up and you flick it out. If this isn't a push, we have the front kick push, we have the side kick push. This is a slap, a clap across. Okay? Good. Also guys, I want to be open and say, I might not be a digital master, as you can probably tell by the production values of the videos, but I'm very open to the sense of community, and it's one of the reasons I started Flowing Fist. So if there is any questions, please present them to me in the comments, if you can direct message on YouTube, whatever. Present some questions if you have them, and I would be more than willing to help and assist, because it is strange for me. I'm used to having a class in front of me, or at least a personal training session, and the questions help me be a better coach, because I have the answers to the questions, but with just staring at my camera, it feels a lot different. So I want you to know, I'm trying to cover all bases as I'm going through the motions and cover each kind of part of the technique. But if you have something that's resoundingly being unanswered, then ask it, okay? Turn a kick. Drop the shoulders. The further you drop the shoulders, the more leverage you're actually giving the kick to go higher. I think one of the reasons I have high kicks for a short guy is because I put a lot into the counterbalance. So see, straight on. That kick's pretty high. It's higher than my head because my head's actually going back. I'm not going wham, I'm going. Twist the back foot, flick the knee up, and then let the foot follow the knee. So if you flick the knee up here, let that foot follow the flick, okay? We only break it down into parts to show you that it's made of different parts. But when you put it together, I don't want this, I want this, okay? The flick of the foot comes from the flick of the knee. So that's a front leg turn kick. The last technique is a back leg turn kick. Again, easier off the back leg, I would say. So, you turn the front foot, very similar to the side kick, back leg. Front foot, swap your weight, okay? Change your weight from 50-50 to 100 into the left. And you get, you chamber the leg up, and whereas for the side kick, we were kind of a little bit more twisted, we have a more open groin, doesn't sound right, but our hips are more open here, so that foot can follow this knee, okay? So use what you learned in the side kick, apply it to this, and you're going to get it much quicker. So, twist, chamber, flick, and then we're going to return, okay? So let me show you. Dropping a shoulder lock, covering my head. For me, I like to throw hands in front of my kick because it's like it's going to cause a reaction regardless. And if an opponent sees a hand and a foot, they have to decide. But I'm going to do it so quick that they won't have much time to decide between one. So I'm going to strike. So, twist, chamber, flick, hit. And you've seen a dozen, baker's dozen of high kick or roundhouse kick knockouts in MMA because you can generate so much power with this motion, with this twisting, torquey motion, and the right pieces together, i.e. the balancing and the counterbalancing. It can be devastating just to take someone's head off quite easily. Okay, so you should have just learned front kick off both legs, a side kick off both legs, and a turn kick off both legs. It's not to say you're going to be mastering them. It's not to say they might be above your waist. That's all good, but you have learned the technique. That's all you need to go on and be able to do these and kicking. You could probably kick Shaq in the head with enough practice. It's up to you to take what you've learned and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice to make it perfect for you, okay? And each technique is, let's say, an ancient piece of scripture, but it also depends on how you read that scripture, how you translate that scripture, how you perform it, okay? So these, what I'm teaching are the tenets, and what you can do with practice is decide how to use them. For instance, you might really not like the turning kick off the front leg, so in Muay Thai, I think they do this to make it slightly easier. They do the switch kick, so they switch stance to be able to throw that turning kick. I like throwing it straight. I think it's quite deceptive. This labels to me. So you can see there's so many different applications and possibilities. But take what you've learned practice it a million times over, okay? So, kicks are the most alluring part of Kung Fu. Where most people believe, wrongly, that they can punch, anyone thinks they can punch, most people believe, wrongly, that they can't kick, okay? And both of which only take practice and technique. So, for both, the practice of it will permit the power. No one's going to be throwing mad, decapitating roundhouse kicks off the first instance. You've got to enable yourself to learn it, you know, and think, okay, it's got to be soft, and you've got to learn soft. All techniques we should be learning slow and fast, okay? Because if you just go to a bag and just whip your legs at it, like I've seen a grotesque amount of times, you're just having someone doing the can-can on a bag. Those aren't kicks, okay? Practice each motion of it to deliver a whole kick, a complete kick in your style and manner. So, kicks, you do need balance, you do need flexibility, you do need, let's say you do need like the belief in yourself to throw it, because it does feel more risky than throwing a punch. It feels a lot more risky to go, okay, catch this. But with enough determination in what you're doing, with enough technical application, you should be able to feel comfortable, very comfortable throwing kicks. And for instance, some of my special moves now are, well, I showed the question mark kick, I have a spinning back kick, a spinning hook kick, and I feel comfortable using these, but it took a long time for me to feel comfortable throwing those in sparring and fights, okay? You can do exactly the same. Thank you for tuning in today, guys, and we will see you on the next Kung Fu Basics video, which I think is going to be guarding and deflecting, okay? Practice these kicks. Do this again and again. I hope these videos are something you can come back to and look to for guidance, and if not, if you have questions, please propose them to me. Thank you for joining me on Flowing Fist and Fatality Fitness, See you next time.